What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. And today, I want to talk about what's happened to Grant Blankenship. Like he was here one minute and all of a sudden disappeared, but then there was the Notre Dame thing and then he was enrolled and he wasn't enrolled. I'm going to dig into that in just a minute and find out what's really going on after the bumper. If this is your first time here, consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. And ring the bell so you can join the Sooner Savage Gang notification squad. Alright, bumper.
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
So you might remember in August 2016, there was all this hullabaloo about Grant Blankenship transferring to the University of Oklahoma. And I'm going to get into that, but first a little backstory for those who don't follow OU football this sort of religiously and might have missed Grant Blankenship altogether. Grant Blankenship was a 6'6", 252-pound, strong side defensive end out of the Colony, Texas, the Colony High School. Points for high school name choice. Like the Colony just sounds like they're ready to go to battle. We fighting for the Colony off in here, son! Blankenship was class of 2014. Also no relation to Bill Blankenship, who's now the head coach at Owasso. But I need to throw that out there because I'm sure a lot of people had that same question like I did. Blankenship was ranked the 29th best player in the state of Texas and the 59th best player overall for his class. Blankenship was a 3-star recruit according to Rivals.com. He was recruited out of the 2014 class by Jerry Montgomery when he was still a defensive line coach at Oklahoma. He's now up with the Packers. But among the many offers that were given to him, Blankenship decided to sign with Notre Dame. And this is of particular interest to Sooner fans because he was recruited by Kerry Cooks, who is the secondary coach and co-defensive coordinator at Oklahoma right this minute. And when he got to Notre Dame, he immediately had an impact, playing in 11 of 13 games, which is pretty good. But something happened in there where he seemed to lose focus or have some trouble. So much trouble that in April of 2016, Brian Kelly came out and said, we're going to suspend Grant Blankenship. Kelly didn't go into exactly what Blankenship had done wrong. He only said that they set certain standards at Notre Dame and Blankenship hadn't met them. I've always hated it when coaches say that because it's vague as all get out. I mean, what are your standards? Are your standards that we eat 37 marshmallows a day? Are your standards that you get a 4.0 GPA? I just want to know what the standards are that we're talking about. Don't be vague with me and treat me like I'm stupid. And I know some of you feel the same way, and I know that they want to cover for the kid a lot of time, but that's just a peeve of mine. Don't give me some vague thing. Just say, he made me mad, you know, because that's basically what you just said to me, because I have no context whatsoever for what the standards are that he didn't meet. But Blankenship's defensive line coach at Notre Dame, a fella named Keith Gilmore, went into a little bit more commentary and context about what's going on with Blankenship and mostly said it's his mental focus that needs to improve. And that was one of the things that they were, I guess, going to ask him to improve while serving his suspension. But Blankenship had apparently said to hell with that because in August 2016, it was reported that he had transferred to the University of Oklahoma. Kerry Cooks was so excited to be reunited with a guy who had now grown to be 6'5", grown 3 inches since high school, and 278 pounds, put on 25 pounds since high school. And while everybody expected him to sit out the 2016 season and be a big part of the 2017 team, all of a sudden, that was all that was said about him, and he was nearly forgotten. Nobody heard a word from him. He wasn't on the OU roster, and if you checked ESPN or Fox Sports or any of these other places, you see that they still have him listed as being on Notre Dame's football team, which we know is incorrect. Or was it? Well, after doing some digging and making at least one phone call, I found that there is a Grant Stewart Blankenship who is enrolled at the University of Oklahoma right this minute. I don't know how many Grant Blankenships there are walking around, but this is the only one that I could find that came up in OU's people search when looking for Grant Blankenship at the University of Oklahoma. But it fits, right? Because this is the classification that Grant Blankenship would have if he was at OU, provided that he was given the red shirt set out, all those kinds of things. But it's no guarantee because he's not on the roster. Who knows why he's not on the roster? Who knows why he hasn't been welcome? Maybe he doesn't want to play football anymore. Maybe he just wants to go to OU. We've seen that before. Some guys just don't want to play Division I football, and that's okay. But that's what I think has happened to Grant Blankenship. I'd love to see him back if he wants to play football and if the coaches want him on the football team because our defensive line could be monstrous next year, especially with a veteran like that. But this feels a lot like Quincy Russell, right? Which was, there's a lot of static, a lot of talk for no reason. I remember trying to cover the Quincy Russell saga. I mean, my boss at the time, Kerry Murdoch, was prepared to send me down to Houston if it meant that I could get in front of Quincy Russell and figure out, why aren't you at OU, man? And I mean, even his JUCO coach I talked to was like, I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. I hope that that's not the case with Grant Blankenship, because he's a kid who's got a lot of talent. He could do a lot of good at OU. And if he wants to play football, I'd like to see him play football. I want to see the kid do what he wants to do, though. So if he just wants to be a student and fade away, by all means, dude, hands off. That's what I believe is going on with Grant Blankenship. If you know something different or want to add to it in the comment section, let me know in the comments below. You know I live in the comments. Also, if you enjoy the videos, remember to think about liking and subscribing. I have a Patreon website that helps me keep making these videos for you guys. A lot of folks have given me their hard-earned money to continue making these videos for you. I'm talking about Sierra, I'm talking about Andrew, I'm talking about Terry, I'm talking about Billy, I'm talking about Byrne. I'm talking about all the people who get something out of me making these videos, so I appreciate you guys. That's all for me. Deuces.